Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? Big Pete here, the voice of hardcore boxing. That's why you've tuned in, innit? So, I know I've got all your attention now, haven't I? Yeah, you know, don't you? You know. You're all sat on your settees now thinking, "Okay, please don't rinse me! I've been a weirdo all week! I'm a helmet! Okay, don't rinse me!" I can hear you. Well, if you've been a helmet or a weapon or a plank, I'm going to rinse you, so get ready. Thank you for liking and subscribing, leaving a comment, joining members area. Today I'm joined by my co-founder of this channel, Rico from London. How are you doing, Rico?
Yeah, good. I imagine half of the boxing world have had nightmares about you.
Of what?
Nightmares.
Well, they do, don't they? They should stop lying, bullshitting, spinning narratives that are rubbish and just generally being a helmet. Stop it. Stop. And I won't pull you up on it, but whatever they're doing it, I'm going to have loads of material and it's just making my life a lot easier. No.
Big shout out to the guy that did the DAZN post on you, Porky. You saw that, right?
Yeah, whoever did that and me for the DAZN pundit job, I don't know if you did it to take liberties or if you did it to G me up, but either way, I was rolling around on the floor. Thank you very much. You're welcome on my channel via Zoom. All right.
Maybe we should put that as a thumbnail.
Yeah, we might do. We might have to do, yeah.
Yeah.
I might do that as a thumbnail, and what I might do, yeah, I think I'll do that as a thumbnail, Rico, yeah. I've got a couple of other thumbnails from my mate who does them from up north. Big shout out Johnny Owen, how are you doing, from Jab Apparel, or Jab Signature, forgot what it's called. But yeah, it's all good stuff, isn't it? Hey, listen, mate. There's always plenty to talk about in the sport of boxing, Rico, isn't there?
That's true, and apparently going to be jumping in a lake or having a fight soon, right?
Perry Howe, if you knew what people in Sheffield, people who you think are your mates, thought about your ability as a boxer, you'd be devastated. Come to my gym. Sorry, come to my factory anytime we've got a gym here. And I'm going to show you a few things, Perry Howe, what people think about you. Because not everybody's your mate in the sport of boxing. But if you want to fight me, Perry, arrange it with Kevin Murray and me and you will get at it at £175 on a white collar. So there you go. Forget all this sparring stuff. There's a kid in Sheffield, and you know what I'm on about, Perry. He was going to spar you. And what did you say to him? Oh, you need a board license to spar me. Listen, mate, you've got a board license. Forget all that. Get in touch with Kevin Murray because he put a white collar on with me and you at a 12.5 stone, kid. And I'll knock a stone off and we'll get at it because you don't really bother me, mate. Shh, Jesus. If I can't beat you, I'll pack this channel in. All right? So that's him dealt with. Big ticket seller. If you want selling tickets, he won't be on any shows. What other thing we need to address, Rico?
I think we need to talk about Dave Collar's expedite setup in the white collar circuit, unlicensed YouTuber circuit.
Oh yeah, let me just address that. Jump in River Don. I'll jump in River Don and a pair of shorts and a matching t-shirt. If you win a central area, Perry, at any weight, all right, but don't be making out you're a road man, all right? You're a stuttering white collar fighter who puts 4-minute videos out on Facebook. All right. You want to take me on, Perry? Come on here anytime on Zoom and I'll have a debate with you. I will have a debate with you and I will rinse you. All right. But if you want to fight me, we'll do it on a white collar, £175. All right. There you go. What else were we on about, Rico?
Dave Allen.
Dave Allen, right. I think Dave Allen's been refused his license because why would he be putting himself up for stuff like this? It's cringe, embarrassing, and I think he's finished in boxing. I think he is. I don't think he's got it in him because he can't get up for training when he was at his peak. And now he's all smashed up and washed up. He's not going to want to fight. So I think he's either not got it in him no more or he's been refused a license. Why would he put himself forward for this? But yet next month, he's fighting as a pro. What if he got cut?
Yeah, I don't think there's much money in this guy's fight. I don't even know this guy's name, but there's not much money. So to me, it's just sort of keeping active, getting people to pay him some money. We'll see what the numbers do if this fight happens, but I'd be personally surprised if this fight would happen at all. I reckon it's just about publicity.
Yeah, so do I, Rico, so do I. But we keep seeing all these press announcements from Dave Allen. He loves a good PR stunt, doesn't he? But what I'm not seeing is any fighting. Do you know what I mean? I'm seeing a lot of that. There's a lot of that going on, but there's no fighting. It's like Roy Jones and Carl Froch. There's a lot of that going on, isn't there? There's no fighting. Yeah. Glenn McCrory and Roy Jones. A lot of that going on. No fighting. John Fury offering any man out over 50. A lot of that going on, but there's no fighting. But Mickey's called him out. Yeah, I'll accept that challenge, John. And then he's moved goalposts. We know about that. You know, it's a fucking tired old story now, isn't it? But the point I want to make is people who chat shit chatters get found out.
You're right. There's obviously another exhibition fight, isn't there? With Hannah Ranking and what's it called?
Anna Bagley, is it, or something?
Yeah.
Whatever. What, that dinner lady who was on Dennis's show? Jesus, what's all that about? The board have refused their opponent because it was substandard, and people are saying that they're refusing it because of I've pointed it out on my channel that Dennis is putting substandard opponents on for own fighters, which I'm not going to go into it now because I'm going to do a review of Dennis's show tomorrow. But look, it's up to him what he puts on. If they're going to pass it, they're going to pass it. But don't blame me for Dennis's opponents getting refused for his home fighters. You know, we've been getting away with it for months now. And if board have pulled him up on one, well, fair enough. That's his fault. But Dennis needs to look at his matchmaker, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Because it's shocking. But then now she doesn't have to get a refund now because she's going to fight in an exhibition or somewhere. It's like when Nicky Smedley fought in an exhibition in Vegas when Dennis had him a proper fight last minute, put him in as an exhibition. Dennis loves a good exhibition, doesn't he? But what is an exhibition? What is it? It's just a bit of like sparring. That's all. It's just to pacify fans who forked out for tickets. That's my opinion. But that's up to them, isn't it? If they want to put shows on like that, it's up to them. Well, in my opinion, what he's putting on is white collar boxing. It's as simple as that.
So, do you reckon Dave Allen can't get a board license? That's why he's doing this stuff.
Yeah, I reckon he's been knocked back for psychological reasons. That's what I'm hearing. Could be wrong, but if Dave Allen don't fight August 27th, he can't get a license. So they've had to get him out as quick as they can to keep him happy. Because he'll have got knocked back, they'll be screaming behind the scenes. Ah! Don't worry. Somebody will have said to him, mention no name, don't worry, we'll get you an exhibition, get you a bit of money in, and you've still got your money from your pundit job. But we don't know, we're only surmising, aren't we? But if he were fighting next month on the comeback trail, there's no way on earth he'd be doing an exhibition this month, would he? Be risking his license, risk getting caught, risk getting injured, risk showing himself up. And is he saying he's doing it what? Just to get out there and even score? Well, he could spar, couldn't he? Could spar anybody. So don't give me that I was doing it for money or they're doing it because he ain't got a board license. And I think he's been knocked back on his board license. That's what I think. What do you think?
I agree. If you look at the opponent that he's got, some musician guy, YouTuber that nobody's ever heard of, it's not like it's going to be bringing in lots of attention.
You'll have to excuse me drinking my milkshake fast, Rico, but I've just done a Bev Francis arm workout. Look at them bastards now. And I'm like, collapsing. And it's all about light weights and leaning over and doing it slowly. And I was screaming after 3 minutes. But I think that, what did you say? This musician guy, look, why would you fight something like that? You're not going to prove anything. It wasn't so long ago, you were doing interviews with Cougs saying he were 2 fights from Joshua. What is he doing now? What is he now?
Difference. I think that's the difference when Matchroom are pushing you. You're always 2 fights from Joshua. There's always a narrative. Without Matchroom, I mean, credit to them, they can create good narratives. Without them, most people are in the wilderness, right? If you look at most of these British boxers, if they leave Matchroom, where do they go? And also, what's their route to go forward.
When fighters leave Matchroom, they're heading for Skid Row. Skid Row, mate. It's downhill, mate. It's all downhill. I want you to leave Matchroom. It's downhill, kid. And I think that Dave's got up there. I think somebody's got in his head, mentioning no names, but he's a white-collar promoter now. Somebody's got in his head, they paid him lip service, they give him loads of charm, fed him up in a posh restaurant, buttered him up with a bit of a pundit job, filled him full of a load of baloney. And now he's realising, oh my God, it's not like it said it was in the brochure. So we're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see. Look, nobody likes each other up there. They're just all paying each other lip service just to get a few quid. And that's how it is.
Boxing in general.
Yeah. There's people in Sheffield masquerading as top trainers. Never had a British champion. Some of them. Been at it decades and decades. Look, nobody can tell me how to beat the con because I'm the guy that conned the con. I'm the original.
You're the guy that grafted the graft, as Terry would say.
Listen, mate.
Grafted the graft.
Listen, mate. I'm the original one. I've seen it all, heard it all, and done it all. I've got character. I've got charisma. I know that, mate. What I've been through in my life. People keep saying Tyson Fury has. Well, look, fair enough, he can fight, but he's never known any proper hardship, has he? He's not been in a firefight mentally. I've been in firefights mentally. I've seen it all. I've heard it all. I've been in situations where I've had a gun in my mouth. Do you know what I mean? I've been stabbed. I've been kidnapped. I've done all sorts, mate. I've been in situations that these people would fill the nappies in. Right? So I've heard it all. I've heard it all, Rico. And I've seen it all. And I've got that lot weighed up there, mate. I had them weighed up 18 months ago. I thought, Jesus. But the people in the sport of boxing, 99.9% of them have never done any jail. Never. They've never been in mental firefights. When they do, when they get in a mental firefight, they break down. They turn to cocaine and they break down. I've seen it with many of them. Many of them, they can't handle situations where it don't go their own way. Boxers are insecure people. But what boxers don't do, they don't go to a job centre. They hang around the sport like a bad smell. Dave Allen's hanging around the sport like a bad smell, isn't he?
It happened with the pandemic, right? A lot of boxers weren't getting any income. A lot of boxers haven't fought for 2 years, yet they refused to go for normal jobs, stay in the gym training and thinking they're going to get a call up. I mean, credit to a few boxers that I know. They went and they did PT qualifications, and they're doing personal training, they're doing other ways of gaining income.
And good luck to them, Rico. But listen to me, do you know half of them, right? If half of them had any bollocks, they'd be out thieving for a living, mate. So I ain't got no against anybody going out thieving for a living, as long as it's not out somebody's house. Anything else, as far as I'm concerned, it's a free-for-all. Go take it. It'll be insured. If they had any bollocks, they'd be going out thieving for a living or robbing banks, mate, or doing what they do. Instead of pouncing a living in the sport of fucking boxing, mate, and hanging around the sport like a bad smell. Dave's hanging around the sport like a bad smell. If he fights this guy, we might as well all pack up and go home. Because if he fights this guy and then fights in August, how bad's that? What the fuck are we involved with here? Eh? Fucking exhibitions on border control shows with fucking dinner ladies. What the fucking hell's going on?
Well, I think that's the way our boxing is going. Even if you look at this new Sky thing where KSI involved, you'll be having exhibitions alongside board licensed fights, and boxing's becoming.
Go on, keep talking.
Yeah, I think boxing's becoming a bit of a circus with exhibitions alongside board shows. I don't think it's good for the sports. You wouldn't get this in other sports where you'd have not even amateurs that are trying to reach high levels. You having people that are just doing it for laugh next to people that have their careers tied to this thing.
Well, we're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see, but this is how I look at it, right? The boxing border control now have become that weak, the left hand doesn't know what the fucking right hand's doing. Am I right? They've become that much of an embarrassment that I think it's a little bit too late in the day to start pulling on a rankings opponent because the horse has fucking bolted on it.
Yeah.
The horse has bolted now, so why not just let it all go through? You know what people need to do? They need to do what SYPS are doing here. The backing amateur kids who are having the first amateur fight. I'm not going to say kid's name yet, but it's going to be on my channel in the next couple of months. We're affiliated with a gym now in Sheffield, right? And what they're doing, the backing amateur kids, right, who are having their first amateur fight. And hopefully it'll build into a relationship because boxing needs to start from the beginning. You need to get somebody from the beginning, a weird trainer, and let them bring them all the way through. And put something into the sport without taking out. You see where I'm coming from? Mm-hmm. That's what people need to do. Instead of trying to, we'll get him on because he does a few tickets in white collar, or we'll get him on because he's popular on Instagram. Fucking start from the beginning. When I started with Dennis, I said, Dennis, not being funny, you need some signings here. Why don't you sign 5 or 6 kids? You know what happened? Because you sent me a list, Terry sent a list, there were Chris Conger and a few, David Adelaide. There were all sorts of kids who Dennis could have had. And I said, and in 5 years, Dennis, you pluck them then, don't you, 4 or 5 years? That's what you do. You start from the beginning, but no, he wanted to go his way. Look at the fucking mess he's in now. How's he gone from Clinton Woods, Rico Hoy show, when Clinton won world title, to that undercard there with David A and Jamie Moore and all the rest of them on it? How's he gone from that to this? Has he done that?
I think the problem with boxing generally is they're very short-termist. So if you think about Sky and everything else, they all want to build people as quickly as possible to get the money. So think about someone like Conor Benn, for example. He's been pushed towards that pay-per-view level as quick as possible. Not saying he doesn't have talent, but it's just that he's got the popularity. So we've been sold popular kids rather than talented kids. You look at guys like Akeem Ennis-Brown, that was quite avoided. Now he's got titles. Nobody invested in him. So a lot of these guys, they need to make their own way in the sport before they can actually be plucked up by a top promoter, and then they'll do the rest of the job. And that's the wrong way to do it, right?
Yeah. Okay. Can I give a big shout out to Michelle Hudson at Cosmetic Beach in Italia in Turkey? I'll be there in 6.5 week, kid. A week in the sun. I'll get my nashes done. So thank you, Michelle, for backing me and believing in Big P. We're smashing it! We're having it off. We don't need any money. We just want free T-shirts and free teeth.
Should we talk about DAZN's commentary team?
Did I tell you about that email I got off Oakley? You know Oakley? You know Oakley? I'll tell you a little story. I'll tell you a little story about Oakley. I've always worn Oakley glasses. They won't give me fuck all, these bastards. I've always worn Oakley glasses since I used to follow tennis when I was a kid. And Agassi bought a pair of these from this small company called Oakley. Now, the owner, seeing Agassi playing tennis in this tournament, and he sent Andre Agassi a Corvette. He had him and Agassi says, why you sent me a Corvette? And he said, for wearing my glasses, I've just done 2 million orders. He made like millions. And that's how Oakley's ended up getting big. So, and I've always worn Oakleys anyway. I got somebody to send me an email, and they sent a pokey video, and they went, thank you, but no thank you. But we're still not bothered. We're still going to wear them.
What were you expecting, a Corvette? Were you expecting a Corvette, pokey?
No, a 640D Beamer convertible. but yeah, so, but onwards and upwards, it's we're doing all right at moment, Rico, to be honest. It's going in the right direction, channel. I'm a bit shocked, to be honest. I'm waking up now to on hundreds of emails, 200, sometimes 280.
Well, boxing's a closed shop, isn't it? So there's not many people you can contact. Most of these YouTubers, they just put out content, but they don't engage with the fans. You can't email them, can't get in touch with them with your opinion. So I think what you're doing is a bit different in the sense that actually, you know, you have fans here talking about boxing, you're taking fan questions, others. So yeah. I was thinking, actually, you know what we need to do today? We need to go through the questions that people send down in the members area.
Yeah. Have you got them?
I'll dig them up now. But yeah, tell me about your thoughts on his own commentary team.
A load of shit. Darren Barker's obviously married that bird, hasn't he, at Matchroom, so he's married into it, so they're going to give him a job. Tony Bellew has got, 500,000 followers on Twitter, and he's got his tongue that far up Eddie Hearn's arsehole, he's eating his food for him. Isn't that right, Tony? So he's a hula hooper, so he's Team Matchroom. I never thought he'd get on at the zone, for a simple reason. I thought he shot his load with Chisora Usyk fight. You remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
And I thought he'd shot his centre foot there, and I thought they'll not work with him. They'll not work with him after that because he made it pretty obvious, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think they'd go with Bellew, but obviously they have, haven't they? So because it's his mate, innit? But he's got familiarity around him, but he said it were going to be game change. Well, Darren Barker's won 1 world title fight, and Tony Bellew's won 3, hasn't he? So they've got 4 world title wins between them, and Andy Lee, did he win 1? 5 world title wins between 3 champions on there. So I think Andy Lee's half all right, to be honest. He's not bad. But you don't know what the narrative they're going to give him, because if they're on contracts and they're not freelancers, you're going to see them push the DAZN boat like the Sky lot. Yeah. Like, nobody's going to rock the boat, are they? And he'll have backups as well. There'll be backups.
He'll be like Sergio Mora. He'll be like the Sergio Mora of the UK.
There you go.
And I think Terry and I were chatting about this yesterday, actually. And I think the problem with boxing fans in general is that we get bored of things quite quickly. So if we see guys like Andy Lee, like he's good when he's got, like when Macklin started, right? We liked him when he was there for doing bets, but when you're there every week, we get quite bored because they start making mistakes, they start pushing the company narrative, everything else. So we all get very bored of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're coming from, mate. I see where you're coming from. My argument with Tony Bellew is that he doesn't give a fair assessment. He talks in like, when we signed him, he was a great prospect. That's why we signed him. We were talking about Jordan Gill. Who's this fucking we? And then he's talking about Matchroom. And then he was saying, yeah, well, he's been on that channel, this certain box, and now he's coming over to us on our channel. What, Sky? This is when he was at Sky. Is Matchroom and Sky Bellew? Is it about Bellew? Because he makes everything about him. So, I don't know, but Tony Bellew, I don't fucking like you. I think you're a prick. So, that's my opinion. He might not like me. I think you're a two-faced cunt. Ringing Dennis Hobson up, trying to stick me at back. Well, Dennis, we're pissing his at him anyway. We pissed ourselves laughing after. But that's the sneakiness of the sport of fucking boxing. Ringing Dennis up and saying, your fucking man's put a video on Twitter saying I've not beat a champion. Now, if Dennis had had any knackers about him, he'd have said, well, you haven't. But he didn't say that, did he? So, but look, it's boxing, isn't it? People try and cut your legs off behind the scenes. I've had it here. Tried all sorts to shut me down, mate, Rico. They've tried just about everything. Everything, emailing sponsors a lot. But we're still here. And we're just going to get bigger and bigger, and I'm just going to go for the jugular every time. For example, I don't need to go on about this, but certain person other day sending me text messages. Oh, I mentioned on my channel. We're going to do this with legal people, this and that, whatever. I just do more videos now because I know we do it within the boundary. So it's just like fucking pouring petrol on fire with me. You know me, don't you, Rico?
Mm-hmm. Better than most people, I do.
So get ready. Anybody with a problem, get ready. Come and take me on Zoom. Don't go like that. Or hide behind your keyboard like that. All these keyboard warriors who are inventing names on social media. I mean, Jesus. You know, I got one text the other day off Les Battersby. Into your character in Coronation Street, Les Battersby. Yeah. Could you imagine that in the morning? You know, I'm just getting up in the morning. Make me a cup of tea. What are you doing today then, love? Well, I'm going to go sign on goal. And then I'm going to pretend to be Les Battersby. and I'm going to troll Porky. Is that what my life's come to, Rico?
Probably. I've got a question here from Joe Wall, who's a member. So, what's that? A spider?
Yeah, it's called Dennis. It's got an hole at the top though, so he can breathe and that. So, just in case you're thinking about reporting me to RSPCA, just letting you know that, look, watch how quick it moves now. Watch it try and get out. Ooh, it got a bit of movement, Rico. You're going to have to stay there, Dennis. You are now on basic regime, HMP Moorlands. One mistake and you go back to super basic. If you behave, we'll put you on enhanced.
So I've got, you know what, we're going to ask people to send, let's put this video in the members area.
Yeah.
And we're going to ask members to send questions in.
Oh, you want this in members area today then, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, but we've got one question here, which is from Joe Wall, who's a member. So thanks for becoming a member. He said, "I'm not convinced this DAZN movie is going to be any different to what we're going to get in what we get now in the UK. But with Sky having a chance for a fresh start, how would you go about building the sport back up on Sky?" I think that's a good question. I don't think they go in the wrong way with Wasserman, because you probably need a promoter that has a bit of clout and a name. So I think that's a good move. Having a guy like Chris Eubank Jr. there, that's a name that, you know, can anchor shows. That's a sensible move. I think the signings of good ones, guys. So Linus Udofia and Brad Pauls, again, another good move. I think what they're going to start doing is probably looking at guys from across Europe and trying to get fighters from across Europe, because the UK is such a saturated market. So what they'll do is try and sign these guys across Europe, get them fighting in the UK. So, you know, guys like Hrgovic and others. I mean, Hrgovic has his own contract at the moment, but, you know, guys like that from these countries, getting them fighting on the shows on the undercard of Chris Eubank Jr. and some of these other fighters they're going to sign over time. I think there's enough talent in the UK that I wouldn't be surprised if a guy like Josh Warrington ended up on Wasserman Boxing, and they're going to have to do this for a year or two while they build up guys like Brad Pauls and Linus Udofia and, you know, see how far they can take them. But I think it's really doing that. But the most important thing for me is really maintaining the integrity, which is having good matchmaking, having good fights. The undercard needs to be filled with good domestic fights, and it's not constantly pushing us guys that we don't necessarily like, or pushing us guys because they do numbers or views. I think that's the main thing. Yeah. I think John Wishausen, everybody seems to think that he's a pretty good operator in boxing, so he probably knows what he's doing. I think this other guy they have as a promoter, this young guy, he's there to have his promotional license, but they have more boxing people involved than Sky ever had with Matchroom. Eddie's not really a boxing person. He's a guy that has inherited a boxing empire, but he's not a boxing person through and through. So the other thing I'd probably want to do with them is trying to work with trainers from across the country. So not make it as London-centric as Matchroom has always been, or Matchroom has focused on hubs like London and Liverpool. So try and work with guys up in Newcastle, Yorkshire, other places, and uncover some of that talent and get those guys on bigger platforms. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I agree with that, Rico. I'll agree with you on that. So the gentleman that's on that question, then I'll agree with Rico.
Good. Should we talk a bit about this? So the punditry team, I think Costello, he's all right, right? He's a blow-by-blow commentator. He's a guy that will do the Adam Smith type things. I don't think he's a massive improvement to Adam Smith, but he's a bit different. So we'll get bored of him eventually, like we do of everybody else. Andy Lee, I mean, he's worked with Costello before. That makes sense. I think with Barker and Chris Lloyd, again, Matchroom guys, I'm not fussed if they signed or not, but whatever. I think Maya Jammer's there to do the celebrity interviews. So, like, you know, people in the crowd, she's a name. She's something to look at. So she's probably there for that reason. I don't think it drives any numbers. I don't think anybody's going to subscribe to DAZN because of that reason. So I think it's quite an expensive signing as such for somebody that adds quite little.
Is that who that Joshua were dating, Anthony Joshua?
Yeah, well, dating, but we know the story about that.
Dating or nailing?
Yeah, one or the other. I mean, that's Stormzy's ex-girlfriend, isn't it? So
have they fell out, them two, Stormzy and him?
Yeah, probably. I mean, look, if you breaking up with someone, next thing you know, they're taking selfies with the guy who walked out for a fight, you'd be asking questions, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Has he got a few quid, that Stormzy?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the biggest artists in the UK. So, I mean, he's a bigger name than Joshua. He's more well-known in the UK, I'd say. So, yeah, she's, you know what? I think it's a bit excessive to get somebody like her doing that stuff, particularly when she doesn't know any boxing. I think Laura Wood, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get some of that football and talk sport crowd in there because she's been involved in football for years. It's only about 33 or 34, I think. Yeah. I think actually today's her birthday, same day as Coogan.
Frotcher's birthday today. He's 44.
Is it? Same day as Coogan?
We see him in a minute. Well, after this.
Yeah, same day as Coogan, same day as Laura Wood. I think with Laura Wood, she'll be a good host, so she'll take the Woolhouse role. But again, it's not the game hasn't been changed. It's the game is being done the same way as before. It's just new people. There's nothing particularly unique about it. They'll probably get someone like Maya Jama to do more shoulder programming, so she'll be traipsing around interviewing boxers or going in changing rooms or something like that. I think that's her role, but it's not revolutionary. It's just standard stuff. I think Terry made a good point on his podcast, Highfield's Boxing Podcast. Everybody follow, subscribe, listen, about that, because DAZN's a tech company. They can probably create something where fans can sort of interact more. So maybe you can get things like fans can vote who they think won the round, and you have the fan scorecard versus the 100ry scorecard. That could be interesting. But essentially, it's the same stable of fighters doing the same boring backyard shows in Eddie's backyard, so he can show his house off to everyone. It's the same format. If anything, it's probably moving more towards the entertainment fun side, which they darts is, rather than actually the sport.
They're playing about with boxing, and they're watering it down, aren't they?
Well, they're doing what they've done with the darts, isn't it? It's becoming
and snooker.
Yeah, it's becoming more sort of
razzmatazz.
Yeah, becoming casual friendly.
Snooker years ago, they come out at the Crucible and it were eerie silence. Now they're coming out to, Ariana Grande songs and, AC/DC and all that. What's that about? Hey,
I'm not sure that does anything for the sport. That's my...
People start fucking about with sport and all hell breaks loose, mate.
Yeah, and also it doesn't do anything for the athletes, does it?
No, just listen, mate. They're making out they're putting money into the sport. They're taking out the sport, mate.
Well, it's not their money. I mean, look, if you're putting money into a sport, then it's your own money. Otherwise, you're using somebody else's money, right? If somebody gave me £2 million to run an event, I'd run that £2 million until the end, and I'd do all sorts of excessive stuff for the event. If it's not my money, I don't need to care about it, right? And that's, accountants by name, accountants by nature.
Yeah, that's all they are. Shithouse accountants from Essex. That's all they are, mate. They're not fucking special. And just give a big shout out to Michelle Hudson from Cosmetic Beach. Not looking too bad for 54, is she, Michelle? Look at that.
No, right? You'll be enjoying your time in Turkey.
If you own your own clinic, you're gonna have to look the business, though, aren't you?
No, you can't look like a complete mess, can you?
No, like some birds, I know. Okay then. Any more? How do you get all these members' questions, Rico? You just get them off the channel?
No, they in the comments. But what we're gonna do again for this one is people write down the questions. This goes in the members areas. Write down the questions you want me and Porker to run, and we'll run them in the next thing, because that way it's easier for me to find the questions.
Are they going to send them to you, Rico, or me?
No, they're just going to put them down in the comments. So write a question in the comments, and then we'll do that way. We can find them the next time.
Yeah, members only. If you're not a member, fuck off.
Well, it's going to be
the members. Note down for you.
It's going to be the members area, so only members will be able to see that. So
in the secret club. We're in the secret. Like when I tell my kids and they want a biscuit, I say, don't tell your mum. They go, why? I say, because we're in there. And they go, secret club. 10 minutes later, they go, Dad's just as good as a penguin, mum. Bubble me.
We'll, for the questions, you can ask us anything boxing related, any thoughts on anything. Ideally, ask us stuff that isn't regularly covered on this channel or, bigger boxing themes. So not stuff like who beats this guy or what's your view on this fight or, try and ask some creative questions and hopefully we can get some good content. And that video will go on to the normal area, which will mean that you'll get a shout out for being a member in a hardcore. Yeah,
that's brilliant. Listen, if you're a member, you're a proper hardcore. Well, there's only one hardcore in boxing, and he's from Ireland. He's from Northern Ireland, and that's Kent.
Kent eats box rec for breakfast. That's what the people are saying, right?
Kent puts box rec on his cornflakes in the morning. I put cocaine. And then milk. But yeah, big shout out Kent. How you doing, Kent? All right. Hey, I've got to be on ball when Kent's fucking on, mate. I said, Kent, what are we talking about today? Can you give me an heads up? You've got to be on the ball. I've got to be switched on. Somebody put a comment on the other day about Terry Choppendama, and he said something like, Dad, that apple I had last night were great, and Dad replied, well, people don't understand the journey that apple's been on. To get to where it's come, to get from the root to the fruit. Or so, I don't know what he said.
That is Terry. That's Terry in a nutshell.
Yeah. Old Terry, bless him. Big shout out to the Beautiful Boxing Podcast. Anybody who wants to listen to something and something soothing, you want to get your head down at night, turn it on, and 9 times out of 10 you'll fall asleep halfway through. Am I right, Rico?
Yeah, he's Barry White reincarnated, Terry, isn't he?
He's what? Barry White?
Barry White reincarnated with his voice.
Hey, baby. But let me whisper something into your ear, baby. But no, Beautiful Boxing Podcast. If you want to watch that, get it watched. Listen to it. It's a podcast. Mine are videos, aren't they? I'm like a performing monkey in front of the camera. But Terry's it's a podcast, and it's really good. Like I enjoy it. I think the favourite ones when he had Larry Alabama on.
Yeah, that was good. I think it was candid conversation. Obviously, ruffled feathers in boxing, but Terry's not afraid to do that. Neither is this channel, and that's what we like, right? We don't want people that are pro-established. We want people actually objective about what's going on in the sport. Yeah.
Hey, do you think Terry would ever get a board license?
No. Why would he?
If he wanted to, do you think they'd make it hard for him?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, look, he's probably he's been too critical to too many people, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
The other thing I think is quite good to listen to these days, Steve Goodwin's boxing show with him and Martin. They run through all of the small hall stuff. People can send questions.
Yeah, what's that called? Ring TV or something? Or Ring Talk?
Yeah, Ring Talk. Yeah,
Ring Talk. Martin Theobald and Steve Goodwin. He's all right, Martin. I quite like him. I think he said that I called him a twat or something on there. I don't remember that. If I did, Martin, I do apologise. But I quite like Martin. I thought the...
top guy.
I thought the Transformers dig from Eddie Hills, you know, the 4-0 Iceman, 3 by way off. I thought that Eddie Hills having a dig at him were a bit out of order because he was clearly stating facts, Martin, wasn't he?
Look, it shows that Eddie listens. Eddie pretends he doesn't listen, but he does listen to things like this channel. We know who listens to this channel from Matchroom.
Yeah, Frank Smith and that other one.
Frank Smith.
The gay boy one. Or was it Anthony
Lever? I don't
know. Anthony Lever, gay boy. You listen to my channel, don't you? So, not that I've got anything against gay people, right? But just pointing that out. But yeah, he listens to my channel, and then they report back, don't they, to Eddie Hills, the Iceman from Billy Rickey, super heavyweight Iceman So
well, if we think that there's 100,000 hardcore boxing fans in this country, roughly, use that number just as a figure. I think Dennis used 150 when he was talking about Fight TV, but I reckon it's more towards 100,000. So 7% of them subscribe to this channel, so it's quite an influential audience. So if we saying anybody on this channel saying something or shaping those people's opinions, then that's a problem for these guys, and it would be arrogant for them not to listen to what boxing fans are saying about their product. It's like if you were selling Coca-Cola or something, for instance, and you're not doing surveys and saying that, you know, what consumers think about your product, you'd be a bit silly to do that.
Yeah, I suppose you're right there. Yeah, I suppose you're right.
They look at social media, they listen to YouTubers, they listen to other people, and I think the problem for them is there's so many YouTubers in their back pocket, but channels like this that don't get anything from them. Those are the problems, because they're not biased. There's too many YouTube channels that are biased because, you know, they get free tickets or they get access or something else.
Yeah. Do you want to touch on the Conor Benn situation? He's becoming a bit of a nuisance lately, isn't he? Is his head getting too big for his boots?
Yeah, look, I think he's been built up to be the next best thing. It's not his fault per se, because, you know, if everybody's telling you the best thing ever, nobody around him's going to tell him or ground him and tell him back. So I think he's also pushing the narrative which he knows sells, and he's also, you know, they building him up to be this next big thing. I think his next fight is a bit of a knockover job again. Granados, they had a close fight with Broner a few years ago, but he's basically a journeyman, right? Look, we know what we're going to get with Conor Benn. I quite like watching him fight, but we also know the level of opposition, and we know that he's not progressing the way that we'd like to see him. You know, David Tavanesian's there to be fought with. You've got Josh Kelly in that stable. You've got Chris Congo. You've got others. But the idea is not to make Conor Benn look bad at all, right?
Yeah. Conor Benn, in my opinion, is a pro now over 5 years. He's not fought for an area, an English, a British, a Commonwealth, a European. But yeah, he's world ranked. I don't get that, mate. How can you just jump the levels and not think that you're going to get a clip down the line or get put in a situation where you're fucking out your depth? You're out at sea. You're lost at sea in a dinghy, 5 mile out in middle of North Sea. And it's that way to Amsterdam and going back that way to Bridlington. Right? So you're heading out towards Amsterdam in middle of North Sea on a 25 quid yellow and black dinghy thing that you get outside seaside shop near Sandcastle place, and you've lost your paddle. That's where Conor Benn's going to be if he gets in with Sean Porter. He won't know what to do against Sean Porter, mate.
Not even Sean Porter, someone like Jerome Ennis, Virgil.
Chris Conger writes him off. McKinson writes him off. David Evanesian roasts him.
Yeah, they all tough fights. I don't think he's ready for them, so I'm not blaming them for not taking the fight. But what I would say is that we can't pretend that he's this invincible fighter either.
But what he's doing now, he's doing more social media interviews than ever, shouting about how good he is. But yeah, he's fighting guys with all these fucking losses. Granados and Vargas are fucking shot to bits. They've come over to lose, mate. I don't know. Conor Benn's a disaster waiting to happen. I said it. Perry Howes, John Fuchs, Dave Allen is if he comes back as a pro. These are disasters waiting to happen. It's in front of our eyeballs. It's in front of us. Nobody's saying a fucking word, man. It's unbelievable, Rico. That's what this is, Edward. Let's have a look. Fight Camp and Conlan Boxing.
Oh, well, quickly to touch on those, I think it's preposterous that Fight Camp are charging £700 for tickets when Eddie promised to give the NHS tickets during the pandemic, yet nobody from the NHS has attended any of these events. Now he's doing an exclusive event in his backyard where I'm sure England footballers will be there, lots of Towie celebrities and others, but there'll be no tickets for the NHS. So yet another lie from Eddie.
So there's no tickets going to NHS, but he's charging everybody $7.50.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be comp tickets for England footballers if they want to attend. Watch the space. He'll want to get the England footballers there. He'll also have probably other Towie celebrities and others there as comp tickets, but you won't get any NHS staff there. After this pandemic and his promises of giving NHS tickets.
You think it's a tired old format now, what he's doing?
I never thought it was that good of a format in the first place, right? It made sense. Yeah, there was a pandemic. I think it was good format initially and it was creative, but I don't think anybody fell in love with the format. I don't care where boxing takes place, just the best matches. I don't need it to be in a backyard in somebody's marquee. Do you care? Would you care if the same fights were at your call? Are you going to tune in because it's in Eddie's backyard? Are you having a laugh?
Listen, it's groundbreaking. It's in somebody's back garden with a bunch of fireworks. There's Ultratex says. Ultratex emailed me. He's on holiday. So
when are you going to get him on the channel?
I've asked him. I don't think he's that keen, is he? I'm not even bothered if he wants to hide his face because I know somebody that's seen him. So we know he's genuine. But he's emailed me. He's away at the moment. So, but I like Ultra. He's all right. And he's welcome on here anytime.
Yeah, it would be a meeting of hardcores.
All them members, right, who are members on here, and who were thinking, okay, I want to come on your channel, but I just don't want to show your face. Look, we'll just put it on members area. We'll just keep it on members because you can't share these, can you? These videos on YouTube, they won't share. So just stay on ones. Not the members one. Just come on the members area. Don't be shy. I used to be like that. When I was 15, chatting 21-year-old birds up, and be shy. Don't be shy. Come on here. You know it makes sense. It's a groundbreaking channel, trust me. The foundations are laid, and what I've got planned, Rico, what I've got planned, I'm going to blow people's minds apart, mate. The next 12 months. We're just going to keep pushing. We're going in the right direction because people are backing us now, and got all sorts of plans. This members area is a good thing. What you've come up with. Get your questions sent in. All you watching this video, there'll probably be about 100 people watch this. Get your questions sent in, and then we'll answer them in next members video when Rico comes on, and we'll do the job properly.
Yeah, we'll do it next week. So sorry about missing the questions last time.
Yeah, no problem.
This is an easier way because there's always so many comments. So this is a lot easier way.
Yeah.
I think that's it. We've covered everything we wanted to cover. We've had a bit of a Porky life story as well, so can't complain.
I'm going to blast over to Nottingham now.
Going to see Carl?
Straight down A1 through Loudon, and it's not far from there. It's about it's 39 miles from my house. From here, maybe about 48 miles. I'm not going M1 way because then you've got to go cut across Nottingham. I'm going to go see him. I hope his gates are off and I'll just drive straight through. He'll go, Porky, what you done to your wheels? Do we see my wheels? Did I send you it? Yeah. I've had them done in black, like a blaze colour. Look all right, better than black. I thought, because you know when you get them stone chips on black, it's a nightmare. Silver you can get away with, but they give me a little touch-up pot. I meant to pick copper, and I must be colourblind, but it's a bit out there. But I'm not bothered. Like it's only a giggle, isn't it? It's a car at the end of the day, isn't it? Don't alter that car drives, but they go, what you do to your wheels? I said, I'm not night rider no more.
What have you got Carl a gift?
Yeah, I've got him a gift. I've got him some aftershave, I think. Paul Smith is from Nottingham, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I've got some aftershave.
Well, send him my best.
I will. He'll be cutting his grass probably. They can't go out of the country, can they? They can't go anywhere. So I bet he's cutting his grass.
I'm surprised he's not playing golf today.
Might be. I'll say you should be coming on my channel, but they're not going to come on, are they? Because it's they want to work in boxing, don't they?
can't blame him. You know what?
Can't come on there.
Sometimes friendships are more important than that, so it's fine.
Yeah, I'll go through. We have a bit of a giggle. I'll go through. Have a laugh. It's only half an hour there from here, 30 minutes, 35 minutes. It's a shit road to get there by Langall Lake and that, but it's all right. So, okay then, Rico. So, listen, thanks for coming on. I'll get this on members area now. I'll get you tagged. Well, I don't need to put tags in it, really.
Yeah, put your questions below in the comments and we'll add them.
Get your questions below and we'll answer it next time Rico comes on.
We can use another thumbnail. We'll do the thumbnail with the DAZN thing for the other area, for the plebs.
Yeah, no problem. All right, do you want to save that porky one for another time then, yeah?
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right, I've got one for this anyway. All right, my friend.
All right, speak to you soon. Take care. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Well, that were Rico. I look off my head, don't I, today? My friend Rico Healy from Finland, lives in London. Biggest in marketing. So, all right, peace out. Keep on trucking. Keep supporting boxing. If that lead reaches, I might even show you a picture of the wheels. See if it reaches. Might just reach. Hang on a minute. Let's have a look. Ah, it don't reach. It don't reach. It don't reach. Oh, hang on. I might as well to move the computer. Have a look. Whoa. We don't want the computer to fall, do we? No, it's not going to reach. Not reach. No. Oh well. I'm going to show you how funky I am today. I'm all excited. I'm all excited this morning. You know, you're picking your car up, so you've had your wheels refurbed. I'm all excited. I'm all right now. I'm over it now. Never to wear off once you start getting dirty. So, all right then, peace out. Keep on trucking. Keep supporting boxing. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you for subscribing. Bump, bump. Thank you very much, all them people in the members area. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was brought to you by Porky Corner. All right. Peace out.